Welcome to SparkCast, your video podcast for all things tech and innovation. I am Tanya, and today I am joined by Romaine Redman of the EOIC, which is the Eastern Ontario Innovation Corridor. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Thanks for being here. So I've worked here for a while, and it took me a very long time to fully understand EOIC. There are a lot of acronyms that go on amongst within Spark Center, and EOIC being one of them. And it took me a while to really grasp what EOIC was and what you guys do. And so we thought that it would be a good idea to have you on the SparkCast to kind of shed some light on all of those things. So why don't we kick off the episode by you introducing yourself as Romaine, but also introducing EOIC.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. I mean, there is a litany of acronyms across or various lines of businesses, but pleased to be a part of the Eastern Ontario Innovation Corridor Initiative, which is an initiative of Spark Center. And of course, I, Romaine Redman, am the Community Development Manager for that initiative. So basically, I'm the one who ensures that we have a strong and vibrant corridor going on. And as for the EOIC is really about that extended arm of Spark Center that reaches into the community to provide not only our clients, but also to be that voice of innovation across Eastern Ontario, but more so to provide our clients with the resources they need that is external to Spark Center so that they can grow and grow faster and much quicker.
That was good. I wish that you were around on my first week because I would probably have grasped it a lot quicker.
Absolutely.
So what are the key services that you would offer clients when you're working with them?
Yeah, well, our key services are really centered around the key needs of our clients. Mm-hmm. So when we think about, connecting to a broader ecosystem of support, so that's one, we offer connection services. It's access to resources and specialized programming as well. So, for example, you look at a client who might need some R&D support. Mm-hmm. We would go out and do that scouting for them or alongside them, necessarily so for them, but alongside them. It's also around, the advisor. They need, information. They need additional support. And we are able to go in the community essentially and identify some of those supports that are available, just so that we're utilizing fully the resources available along the corridor.
Very good. Very good. So how did EOIC come to be? Because it hasn't always been in part of Spark Center, right?
That is correct. Credit must be given to our fearless leader, as I call her, Sherry Colbert.
Of course.
Who, is quite the entrepreneur herself. First it was Spark Center. She just couldn't help herself. She had to spin out Synergy Lab.
Right.
But then additionally, she saw a need, and the need was for there to be a stronger ecosystem in Eastern Ontario for innovation. Because a part of the attraction is ensuring that the community, is welcoming, and not just welcoming from a social perspective, but also welcoming from that economic doing business perspective. And innovation is so niche, it's so new that, it requires specialized network to fully encompass it so that it can grow. So she basically said, here's something that we need to do. Yeah. We have a very sturdy and healthy roster of clients, and especially that we have our SUV designation with our international clients coming in. It really started, looking at the internationals who were coming in and the support that they need to grow and thrive in Canada. And she's found it fitting to have an initiative like the EOIC, and she brought on the team. We're currently a 2 going up to 3 member team. So my partner, exactly. So my partner, Kathy Ireland, who is our business development manager, who, really came in herself, and Amy, who has now gone on to bigger, much grander things. And then myself as a community development manager. And then we have an additional staff internally who helps us with our tools and really helping us to position well for growth.
Very good. Very good. So, and I can't imagine you guys not being here. Like, it's just, you're just ingrained
in
Spark
family at this point.
Yeah. And I'm so glad that you brought up Spark and Synergy and now EOIC. And one word that is constantly coming up through conversations that are had, everywhere, and everything that we do is collaboration. And
Absolutely.
that is something that, fits in with Spark and EOIC and how we all play together. So as part of the EOIC initiative, you're collaborating with many other people along the corridor. Maybe talk a little bit about who those people or organizations are.
Absolutely. So, I like how you started that saying collaboration, because collaboration is key for the EOIC. We really can act as the glue within the Spark group of companies. We're the grand connector, but not just that, we're the grand connector to the community. So, when we look at how we play in the community first, let's start with our steering committee. We have a broad representation, we like to say, in that we have, our academic partners on the steering committee. So that's Queen's University. We have, from a diversity inclusion lens, we have the CBCC, which is the Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce. We have Alcohol Equal Source. We have Power Center for Women's Enterprise. Who am I missing? We have Launch Lab, who is also, let me just caveat there. Launch Lab, this initiative is really anchored by Spark Center and Launch Lab, which is our sister RIC in the East. So those make up our partners on the steering committee level, who guides how we operate. Then, we've established what we call landing pads across Eastern Ontario. And these landing pads are essentially a consortium of organizations and various different bodies who have said, yes, we're willing to help foster innovation in Eastern Ontario. And each of those landing pads are led by our economic development leads, because it's really about that attraction, for one, as well as, gathering the community resources, and the economic development folks are best positioned to do that. So our landing pads are Durham Region, Kingston, Bay of Quinte, as well as Cornwall and the SDG. So that is a collaborative effort that really drives us.
Yeah, huge collaboration. And sorry, Romaine, if you saw me smiling as you were describing that, I was completely distracted by your ridiculous microphone, which I forgot to mention at the start of this episode. Thank you for not paying too much attention as you're speaking. So for anyone wondering, we were having some technical difficulties. And so Nick and Kevin behind the scenes had to work some magic to get the mic.
What I will say is this is a graphical illustration of what the ecosystem looks like. It's really that, that consortium of things coming together to really help and support the microphone on the inside. So it's a great depiction.
And now that you say that, we have Spark, we have a little bit of synergy, some EOIC colors. It really... I think was intentionally done. So.
I think it's great work to the team who did that. Great work to the team who did that. So round of applause.
And I will say, Romaine, you are one of the best dressed in our office.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's why I didn't even realize. It's a mess, but you're just well put together, and it's not distracting at all. So
wonderful. Well, I try my best.
Anyways, I digress. We're talking about collaboration. Maybe that was done intentionally to illustrate that. Maybe it wasn't. But anyways, okay, fantastic. So some of the services you've already kind of touched on. You had mentioned R&D and a few other things. Yes. Are there any examples that kind of stand out in your mind or are memorable from clients that you've worked with, and specific or unique challenges that they have, that they were experiencing at the time, and how did you help them through those challenges?
Absolutely. Well, one of the things that we're centered on is really solving problems for the clients that we serve. So, and not just our clients as well, but I'll tell you some fantastic stories after. But one of the things that we did through the EOIC when we did our Corridor Connects, that's a major anchor initiative of ours. It's both an in-person adventure as well as it is a online experience as well. So it's really a trip. It's a tour. It's a 2-day tour. Yeah. Last year we did it in June. So sad this year we won't have one, but it's not because we don't have the rich vigor of clients to showcase to the community. It's just so that when we do make those introductions, they're correct and they're right, and the clients can take full advantage of that. So speaking of that, from the last trip that we did, we brought six companies on the tour with us. We were able to make some valuable connections within the communities. So we did all 4 landing pads over 2 days. And that, I think, is really what it's about. When we talk about, putting that, what we do into action, that was a very good example of how we do our work. On our steering committee, I remember when I just started, one of our steering committee members wanted, they were in need of a space in the corridor. And it was one of our other steering committee partners like, hey, I have a space, you can come join us. And that, birthed a beautiful relationship, I think, between those 2 partners on the steering committee, because, we brought them as kind of like, this bigger oversight, but figured out that they too can work together to solve some problems that they had. So, yeah, I mean, when we look at innovation and collaboration, we don't have to solve the energy crisis. It's not necessarily that all that it's about. Right. It's about sometimes, starting small and going up there to the bigger stuff.
Yeah. Love it. I'm just curious, how did you, I personally know your background, but our watchers and listeners may not, but how did you kind of fall into the EOIC? What's your background? How did this make sense for you and for Spark?
That's a nice question. Guys, you're going to get a little sneak peek into Romaine Redman. But so, I started off my career, focused on a direction, and that direction was, of course, effecting change at the political economic level. So I did my undergrad studies in economics, political science, a double specialization. Had an experience there. Not that I hated the experience, I loved the experience, but I just realized that, regression models weren't going to be for Romaine. I just don't like playing with the numbers that much. It's just, I like the action. Yeah. So then I started looking into how can I translate the knowledge that I have, political understanding, the political scientific and the political social and the socioeconomic, and then the economics of things, and the underlying kind of economic variables are productivity, job creation, employment rate and all that stuff. So how do you tangibly affect those? And then I found that economic development was a vehicle through which you do that. So then I went on to study my master's in economic development and innovation. And then I found the innovation side of things to be even more attractive because it is the solving problems that I like. And through innovation, and I must put this caveat, innovation is not always about tech. It's about finding new ways to do things or to solve problems. So I found it to be this. And then I got the opportunity to work with the Ocean Supercluster, one of 5, learned a lot there. And then I saw this amazing opportunity to build a corridor. I'm like, who doesn't want to build something? You know what I mean? So I put myself forward and was successful.
Nice. Good for you.
Thank you.
Quite the impressive background. Very much so. Very cool. All right. I'm not going to keep you too much longer, but what's something lighthearted that I could ask that might be interesting? What's one piece of advice that you could give to a budding entrepreneur that is exploring the journey of starting and scaling a business?
If there's anything that I've learned, is just that you just need to know what problem you're solving for. Yeah. Right? You got to be zeroed in on that problem, and the solution that you're bringing to the fore has to, align with that problem and showcase the value of solving that problem to people. So I'll just say, focus on the problem, focus on aligning your solution to that problem, and throw yourself at it.
And then partner with a business incubator.
Absolutely. Partner with a business. Come to Spark. I'll, of course, put that caveat. Come to Spark. Yeah. We have a quite vibrant community here for you. And you'll, of course, get to access us. The EOIC will get to bring you into the community with us.
Fantastic. Love it. Yeah. And if people that are watching or listening want to learn more about EOIC, where can they go to do that?
Well, for now, we are available on our website. So it's easterninnovation.ca. You can find all of our stuff there, including our partners. We have some amazing tools that are present on that website, including our virtual map. You get a nice little overview of all the resources available to you. Well, the ones that we have on there for now, and we'll keep building that out. We also have a fantastic events calendar that showcases the myriad of events we have and, real networking opportunities across Eastern Ontario. So check us out there. And we also get to piggyback on Spark and Synergy stuff. So you can see some of us there as well.
There you go. And in the event that this goes live, once we have received confirmation of the news that's coming, maybe we can say something about that.
Yes. What I'll say about that is that, we are always looking for ways to ensure that, the entrepreneurs we serve are serviced well and are best positioned for growth. So in doing that, we have, journeyed down some pathways that will ensure that we can better be able to do that. And there's some exciting things coming up. So just stay tuned.
Okay, we'll just keep it very vague for everybody.
Exciting things coming.
Exciting things coming. We can't wait to share. So awesome, Romaine. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Tanya.
Shedding light on the EOIC, such an integral part of who Spark Center is and what we do. So thank you for tuning in to episode 8 of SparkCast, your video podcast for all things tech and innovation. Until next time, we will chat soon. Until next time, see you soon.